This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now, where we bring you the 3 E's: educate, empower, and engage. I'm your host, Harvey Blankfeld, and we've been selling homes here in Southern Nevada since 1988. I also have Rick Cenname from Equity Title of Nevada. He's their sales manager. Rick, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
I'm so glad you're here. One of the things I like to talk about, and we get into these topics repeatedly, but they're important topics, and this is one that I think is very timely right now because we've seen it come up in a number of transactions. It's that water conservation easement.
Definitely.
And explain that to people. I want them to understand what that means and why they should be concerned about it.
You always know something's important when the real estate division gets involved and they change a form. And recently they've changed their
the SRPD.
Yes, SRPD disclosure so to account for this.
Yep.
And basically what it is that the Southern Nevada Water Authority back in 2009 began paying people $2 per square foot to take out their grass and replace it with desert landscaping.
Right.
When they did this, however, they signed some documentation that was basically a restrictive covenant on the property that stated the homeowner could not convert that back to grass or a pool or anything that didn't meet the requirements of the desert landscaping at that time.
Right.
If they did, the water authority had the right to come back and request the money back from the homeowner plus interest and penalties. The homeowners could have converted part of the yard and not all of the yard.
Right.
It's important to understand the actual program and how it worked in order to make that educated decision.
Right.
Like I said, they converted some part of their landscaping into desert landscaping, received money. When they did that, that part of the property was mapped out.
Right.
It is now public record that shows where the map is. And as long as that portion isn't changed, the new homeowner is allowed to do whatever they want to the rest of the property. The minute they step onto the tiniest bit of that changed part of the yard, even if it's a foot,
that's when
the whole amount becomes
I see.
Due, payable, and they have to pay those interest and fines again.
I want to get into another topic that we continually come back to, but it's so important, and that's wire fraud. Equity Title, for instance, is very cautious and careful, and they're very well protected. But the end users might not be. The buyer or the seller, they may have been hacked in some way, shape, or form. And honestly, some agents have been hacked. And so if their data is stolen, that's devastating because that's how it happens, isn't it? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what we've seen happen is mainly emails have been hacked either from the consumer standpoint or the agent standpoint.
Right.
Because they're not using a secured server.
Right.
The bad guys infiltrate into the conversations. They might adjust an email address that looks like the agent's or the customer's email, and they jump in the conversation like they've been part of it from the beginning.
Yeah, they might declare themselves my assistant or your assistant and say, hey, I'm Harvey's assistant, and they'll have our logo on there. They'll have our, it looks like, and then they'll tell you, hey, we needed to change the account to send it here instead of there, and before you know it, your money's in Taiwan, and you're never going to see it again.
Very, very true. And the other thing that we see is that they're just sitting in the background waiting for that the wire instructions to be sent. If they're not sent securely, we send ours securely, encrypted, and a password is needed.
This is where low technology and no technology is your best protection.
Indeed. Yeah, a lot of places are going back to faxing, just to fax the documents instead of sending them through email because it's a little safer.
Definitely, and with one exception to that, I mean, they'll go back to faxing, but really going back to faxing, talking about a telephone line
not
faxing,
e-fax. Yeah,
not
don't do e-fax. Oh my
but
goodness,
the telephone line faxing. Yes.
Exactly.
We still have those in our office as well.
You've been listening to Las Vegas Real Estate Now with host Harvey Blankfeld. Please tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on News Talk 720 KDWN.